There are billions of people on this planet. Most of them will never know your name. They will pass you on a sidewalk, glance at you in a cafe, scroll past your photograph, hear your voice for a few seconds, and continue with their lives as though you were never there. And yet, how many of your decisions were made for them? Not for your family, not for your closest friends, not for the people who truly know you, but for strangers, people you'll never meet, people who will never carry the consequences of your choices, people whose opinions disappear almost as quickly as they are formed. Still, somewhere inside you, they have a seat at the table. Before you speak, you wonder how you'll sound. Before you wear something different, you wonder how you'll look. Before you share an idea, chase a dream, or reveal who you really are, you hesitate. Not because you doubt yourself, but because you imagine someone else doubting you. It's a strange way to live, allowing people who barely know you to quietly influence a life they will never have to live. The strange part is this: most of those people are hardly thinking about you at all. Every person you meet carries a world inside their own mind, their own worries, their own regrets, their own fears, their own unfinished conversations. You are only a passing character in a story where they are the protagonist. Yet inside your own story, you've promoted them to judge. You gave them authority they never asked for. And then you began living accordingly. Why? Every person you meet carries a world inside their own mind, because your mind was built for a world that no longer exists. For most of human history, survival depended on belonging. To be rejected by the tribe wasn't simply painful, it was dangerous. Acceptance meant protection, rejection meant isolation. So the human mind evolved to notice every glance, every expression, every shift in another person's voice. It learned to ask one question over and over again: am I still accepted? That instinct kept our ancestors alive. But the world changed. The tribe became cities, then nations, then billions of strangers connected by glowing screens. Your ancient nervous system never received the update. It still reacts as though every opinion carries the weight of survival. It doesn't. The stranger who silently judged your clothes today will probably forget you before the sun sets. The person whose approval you desperately wanted may never think about you again. Yet, you may carry their imagined judgment for weeks, perhaps even years. Nearly 2000 years ago, there lived a man who understood this burden better than almost anyone. His name was Marcus Aurelius. He was the emperor of Rome. Every decision he made was watched. Every success was praised. Every failure was magnified. Generals questioned him. Politicians challenged him. Citizens judged him. History itself waited to record his mistakes. If anyone had reason to live according to public opinion, it was Marcus. But late at night, when the empire had grown quiet and only the flame of a small lamp remained, he wrote something remarkable. Not for the public, not for history, not even for his family. He wrote for himself. A private reminder against forgetting what truly mattered. He realized something few people ever dared to admit. The people whose opinions disturbed him most were often people whose judgment he didn't actually respect. Think about that. Would you ask every stranger who silently judges you how to raise your children? Would you trust them to guide your career? Would you ask them how to love, how to forgive, how to spend the one life you've been given? Of course not. Then why allow them to shape the way you live? Marcus understood that every moment spent chasing approval was a moment stolen from virtue. He believed the only opinion worth fearing was the one formed by your own conscience, because that is the only judge that never leaves. Centuries later, Carl Jung described another layer of this same struggle. He called it the persona, the mask we create so the world will accept us. At first, the mask feels harmless. It helps us belong. It helps us avoid rejection. It helps us fit into the expectations of others. But slowly, something dangerous happens. We forget it is a mask. We begin protecting it, feeding it, living for it. Until one day, we no longer know where the mask ends and where we begin. That is the quiet tragedy of modern life. Not that strangers misunderstand us, but that we slowly begin misunderstanding ourselves. Every time you silence your voice to avoid criticism, every time you hide your curiosity, every time you abandon your convictions just to remain acceptable, you strengthen the mask and weaken the person beneath it. The greatest prison is rarely built by other people. It is built each time we surrender another piece of ourselves in exchange for approval. Freedom begins with a simple realization. Most people are not thinking about you nearly as much as you imagine. And even when they are, their thoughts do not define you. They never have, they never will. Your life belongs to those who truly know you, to those who remain when success disappears, when appearances fade, when mistakes are made. Most importantly, it belongs to you. So before your next decision, pause. Ask yourself one question. Am I choosing this because it is true to who I am, or because I hope a stranger will approve? That single question has the power to change an entire life. Because one day, every stranger who ever judged you will disappear. Their opinions will vanish. Their names will be forgotten. Their voices will dissolve into silence. But one voice will remain until your final breath, your own. Make sure it speaks with your truth, not with someone else's fear. Until next time, keep seeing life from a deeper perspective. Subscribe if you're willing to think.